Hello everyone, here is question number 1 of WAEC 2025 Further Mathematics examination. We are given that if the square root of 5 minus 3 divided by 2 multiplied by the square root of 5 plus 3 is equivalent to x plus y times square root of 5, then we are asked to find the sum of x and y. So what are we going to do here? First of all, we are going to rationalize the denominator. And to do that, we are going to multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. What is the conjugate of the bottom? It is going to be 2 root 5. Instead of plus, you use minus 3. So we have root 5 minus 3 multiplied by the conjugate, which is 2 root 5 minus 3. This minus should be outside the square root. Do the same thing to the bottom. 2 root 5 plus 3, then multiply by its conjugate, 2 root 5 minus 3. Simplify. Let's start from the top. Square root of 5 times 2 times the square root of 5. Root 5 times root 5 will give us 5, times 2 will give us 10. Then root 5 times negative 3 will be negative 3 root 5. We are done with this term, then you come to the second term. Negative 3 times this will give us negative 6 root 5. The negative is positive. 3 times 3 is 9. Come to the bottom. The bottom is nothing but difference of two squares. Take the first term, you square that. That is 2 root 5 whole squared. Then minus the second term squared, 3 squared. Let's put that, break it down. We have 10 and 9, that will give us what? 19. Minus 3, okay, these are like terms, right? Negative 3, negative 6 will be negative 9. What's this? Negative 9 root 5 divided by. If you square this, you're going to get 2 squared is 4. And root 5 squared is 5. 4 times 5 is 20. Minus 9. Let's come to the other side. We have 19 minus 9 root 5 divided by what? 20 minus 9 is 11. So we are going to split it into 19 divided by 11 minus 9 divided by 11 root 5, which implies that x is 19 over 11 and y is negative 9 over 11, but we are looking for the sum. Therefore, x plus y will be equal to what? 19 over 11 minus 9 over 11. Common denominator is 11, then you add or subtract the numerators. This minus this will give us 10. 10 divided by 11 is our final answer. Do you have it here? Yes. Option B. Let us move on to the second question. And here is question number 2. We are given that if 9 to the power of 2x minus 1 times 3 to the power of 2x divided by 27 to the power of x minus 1 is equal to 1. Find the value of x. We have available options here. We can all transform these bases into base 3. Because we have 3 here already. 9 can be expressed as what? 3 to the power of 2. And that 2 will have to multiply this other exponent. I'm going to do that directly. Remember, this is what? Objective questions. So we have 3 to the power of 2. But that 2 will have to multiply this. We have 2 times 3x is what? 4x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Multiplied by 3 to the power of 2x, which is already in base 3. Do the same thing here. 3 to the power of 3 is 27. So 3 to the power of that 3 will multiply this. We have 3x minus 3. Everything equal to 1. We are going to apply 2 laws of indices, the first and the second. If you are multiplying, you add the exponents. If you are dividing, you subtract the exponents. So we are going to carry them all simultaneously. 3 to the power of this plus this. 4x minus 2 plus 2x. But because we are dividing, we're now going to subtract this exponent of what? 3x minus 3. Remember to attach parentheses. Otherwise, it is only going to subtract the first term here. This is equal to 1, but I can write 1 as 3 to the power of 0. Having the same basis, we can now equate the exponents. But let me simplify first. We have 4, we have 2, making 6. And 6 minus 3, if you expand, this is going to be minus, this is going to be plus. So 6 minus 3 is 3. 3x. And then for the constants, we have minus 2 plus 3, which is 1, positive 1. This is equal to 0. Take 1 to the other side, which is going to transform it to negative. Then you can divide directly by 3, right? Negative 1 divided by 3 will give you x. X will be, as 1 crosses over, it becomes negative 1. Then you divide by 3. Yeah. Do we have it? Option B. Let's move on to question number 3. And here is question number 3. If log of 16 base x equal to 2, then what is the value of x? This is very simple. According to the definition of logarithm, x to the power of 2 must be 16, right? X to the power of 2 must be equal to 16. And 16 is the same thing as 4 squared. 4 squared, you can see the basis, right? The exponent is 2, which means that x is equal to 4. Yeah, which option? A. Let's move on to question number 4. Here is question number 4, which reads, consider the statement P, the land is fertile. Q, the farmer harvests big cassava tubers. R, the sun is harsh. Which of these represent the statement if the land is fertile and the sun is not harsh, then the farmer harvests big cassava tubers? We have available options here. I'm not going to read all of this, though I can, but let's just go directly to the statement given to us. This is if-then statement, right? A conditional statement. If the land is fertile, you can see the land is fertile is what? P. And conjunction, right? The sun is not harsh. From the original statement, the sun is harsh, but it's not is a negation. Negation, right? Of what? R. Then, which implies that, right? The farmer harvests big cassava tubers. Q, right? So which option is this? The last option, which is D. As simple as that. Let's move on to question number 5. And here is question number 5. Find the truth set of x for which 2x plus 3 divided by 4x cubed minus x is undefined. Whenever you have a rational expression like this, it is said to be undefined if the denominator is equal to 0. So we would like to determine the values of x that can make the denominator to be equal to 0. So we can assume it can be equal to 0 by setting the whole denominator to be equal to 0 and solve for x. Then those set of values of x are what we are looking for. We have x's in common, so you can bring x outside. We still have 4x squared minus 1 inside, and this remain equal to 0. This is factorable, right? Difference of 2 squares. I can write it as 2x whole squared minus 1 squared. I will explain. 2 squared is 4. X also squared is x squared. And 1 squared is always 1. But because we have minus, then we call this difference of 2 squares. And how can we factorize it? Remember, we still have x outside. You take 2x, you subtract 1. You take 2x, then you add 1. Just a difference of sign. So since we have 3 factors equal to 0, it implies the first one can be 0, the second one can be 0, or the last one can also be equal to 0. Already we can see that x is equal to 0, the second one. If you take negative 1 to the other side, it becomes positive. You divide by 2. X is equal to 1 over 2. Do the same thing here. It crosses over, it becomes negative. You divide by 2. We have x to be negative 1 over 2. So the sets are what? From the center, we have 0, negative 1 over 2, and positive 1 over 2. Do we have them? Yes. Option C. These are the values which, when you plug them here, the bottom will be equal to 0. Let's go to question number 6. Here is question number 6 of WAEC 2025 Further Mathematics Examination. We're asked to find the equation of the line passing through these 2 points. You see the options here. Let us find the slope first. Very important. M is equal to what? y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So you can give them names. Let's assume this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. I don't have to write it here. y2 minus y1, that will be 6 minus 4, divided by x2 negative 2 minus 1. Simplify. This will give us 2 divided by negative 3. So this is negative 2 over 3 as our slope. So the formula I would like to use is y minus y1 equal to mx minus x1. Right? Let's substitute. Y minus, which is y1, that is 4, equal to the slope, which is negative 2 over 3, x minus x1, which is 1. Right? Let us multiply both sides by the reciprocal of negative 2 over 3. Or we can multiply by 3 and use negative 2 to expand, all the same. Times 3, this will give us what? 3y minus 4 times 3 is 12. This is equal to just negative 2 here. Times x is what? Negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is positive 2. Now, I would like to bring this one to the left. As this crosses over, it becomes 2x. Already we have plus 3y here. This is equal to, we already have 2 there. As this crosses over, it becomes positive 12. Let's add. Did I make any mistake? This is what? 14. Yes. Do we have this? 2x plus 3y. Yeah, we have it here. So D is the correct option. This is the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. Let's move to question number 7. And here is question number 7. Given that g of x equal to 2x plus 8, f of x equal to x plus 2, and p of x equal to 7 minus x, we're asked to find g of p of f of x. Do I know some people might say, why do I call this g of x? So g is a function that takes some values and map them into 2x plus 8. That's what it means. This is mapping. G of p of f of x means you should take a function f, plug it into p, whatever you obtain, you plug that into g and you are done. So let's start with p of f of x. What is f? F is 2x plus 2. And what is p? 7 minus x. So this is the function we are going to use. Take this, plug it here. Wherever you have x in p, plug in f. So we're going to start with 7 minus x. But x will be the whole of x plus 2. Let's simplify. This will be equal to 7 minus 2, which is 5, minus also x. You know, the minus is going to affect the 2 terms. So this is now p of f of x. Then we're going to take the whole of this and plug it into g. Therefore, g of p of f of x will be what? Where is g? This is g, which is what? 2 times x. But x is now 5 minus x. 5 minus x. We still have plus 8. So let's simplify. This will give us 10 minus 2x. 10 minus 2x plus 8. This together with that will give us 18, right? Minus 2x, and we are done. Do we have this? 18 minus 2x, which is C. Let's move on to question number 8. And here is question number 8. We're asked to find the remainder when this function is divided by x plus 1. Please do not waste your time carrying out either synthetic division or long division. If at all this is a factor, which is what? X plus 1. If it is a factor, just set it to be equal to 0 and solve. And x will be what? Negative 1. Take this negative 1, plug it here. Simplify. Whatever you obtain is said to be the remainder. If you get 0, then it means that x plus 1 is a factor of that. Yes. So let's do that. F of negative 1 will be equal to wherever you have x, to replace it with negative 1. 2, negative 1 to the third power minus 4, negative 1 to the second power plus negative 1, then minus 7, right? This is an odd power, so it will not change negative 1. The whole of this will remain negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. This is going to be 1 because the power is even. So this is 1 times negative 4 is still negative 4. We have minus 1, we have minus 7. Minus 2 minus 4 is minus 6. Minus 6 minus 1 is minus 7. Minus 7 minus 7 is minus 14. This is said to be your remainder. And even if you carry out synthetic division or long division, this will be your remainder, which is option A. Let's move on to question number 9. Here is question 9. Question 9 reads, the third and the seventh terms of an exponential sequence, which is geometric progression sequence, are 9 and 1 over 9 respectively. We're asked to find the first term. There are different ways of tackling this problem. Different ways. Should I use the shortcut? Well, I think it is not necessary, but the general term, every term in the sequence can be represented by a r raised to the power of n minus 1. Every term. A stands for the first term, and that's exactly what we are looking for. R is the constant common ratio, n is the number of terms. All right. We are given the seventh, which is ahead of the third. So let me start with the seventh term. So the seventh term, T7, is equal to where n is 7, right? So it will be a r raised to the power of 6, because 7 minus 1 is 6. And this is also equal to 1 over 9 according to the question. You can see that. Then term number 3, when n is 3, we have 3 minus 1 is 2. We have a r to the power of 2 is equal to 9 according to the question. So let us divide both sides of this equation. Don't consider T7 and T3. Just pay attention to this. So a divided by a will give us 1. R to the power of 6 divided by r squared will give us r to the power of 4, right? So we have r to the power of 4. According to one of the laws of indices, 6 minus 2 is 4. And this is equal to, this divided by this is simply the same thing as this multiplied by 1 over 9. That is 1 over 9 times 1 over 9. That is 1 over 81. This is what I mean. If I have 1 over 9 divided by 9, it is the same thing as 1 over 9. Change this to multiplication. Take reciprocal of this. That will give you 1 over 81. 1 over 81, r to the power of 4 is equal to, is the same thing as 1 over 3 to the power of 4. 1 over 3 to the power of 4. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 is still 1. 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 is 81. So you can see if you relate, r is equal to 1 over 3. So you can use 1 over 3 in any of these two equations to find a, which is exactly what you are looking for. Let me use this one. We have a, what we are looking for, but r is 1 over 3, right? Then to the second power, this is equal to what? 9. This is 1 over 9. 1 over 9 equal to 9, right? If you want to get A, you can multiply both sides by 9, and A is equal to 81. The first term is 81, which is option A. Let's move on to question number 10. Here is question number 10. If P is a set of integers x, you can see that it is stated here, such that these integers are from 0 to 6 excluding 0 but including 6. So let me write the elements first. P has the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see that? Because they said excluding, look at the inequality. It is any value greater than 0 and it is integer must start from 1. But less than or equal to 6, so it has to stop at 6. Then Q is also a set of integers from 1 to 7, inclusive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're asked to find P intersecting Q. What are the sets? Intersection between two sets are the elements they have in common, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are all available here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excluding 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, right? Oh, where are the options? I didn't include the options. The options are A, we have P, B, we have an empty set, C, we have the set of x's from 0 to 6, 0 to 6, then D, Q. Okay. Let us analyze. What we have is 1 to 6. If you look at the second to last option, it's almost the same, just that they use O equal to here. But had it been this is just less than x, less than O equal to 6, then we could have taken this one. But they said 1 to 6. And 1 to 6, you can see is exactly the same thing as P. So this is the right option. Now let us move on to question number 11. Hello everyone, here is question number 11 of WAEC 2025 Further Mathematics Examination, and the question is under arithmetic progression sequence. Given that 11, P, Q, R, S, T, 29 are consecutive terms of linear sequence, arithmetic progression, we're asked to find the value of the sum of P, Q, R, S, and T. I saw a lot of people trying to find the values of these respective unknown terms, which I think is the hardest way. Instead, whenever you have the first and the last term, you can apply that formula to find the sum of all the terms. Then since we know the first and the last term, we can subtract them from the total sum. What will be left will be the sum of P down to T, right? So sum of terms is given by n divided by 2 multiplied by a plus l, provided the first and the last term are given in that sequence. So this is equal to, n here stands for the number of terms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 in number, right? So this is 7 divided by 2 multiplied by 11, that is a, the first term. Then L is the last term, which is 29. So if you simplify this, it will give you the total sum. So let's do that. This plus this will give us 40, right? So this is equal to 7 divided by 2 multiplied by 40. You can see that. 11 plus 29. So to divide 40 20 times, right? So this is the same thing as 7 multiplied by 20. And this is 140, right? This is 140. You can see we have an option for 140, but we're only looking for the sum of P, Q, R, S, and T. So how do we do that? we can say that therefore P plus Q plus R plus S plus T is equal to 140, which is the total sum, the minus the first and the last term. Together you can see they are what? 40. And this will give us 100. And hence, the sum of all of these unknown terms equals 100, which is option D. I think this is the best instead of finding the respective unknown terms. Let's go to the next question, which is question number 12. And here is question number 12. If y is equal to 2 minus x divided by 3 plus 5x, then we're asked to find dy over dx, which is the first derivative. Seeing a rational function here or rational expression, we have to apply quotient rule. But these are what? Objective questions. You don't have to waste your time doing that. All you have to do is to say bottom. What is the bottom? That is 3 plus 5x. Bottom times the derivative of the top. If you differentiate 2, you're going to get 0 because it is a constant. If you differentiate negative x, you're going to get negative 1. So we are multiplying this by negative 1, so I can confidently attach negative here. That's all. Minus. Then the top, you see that? The top is what? 2 minus x. Multiply by the derivative of the bottom. Derivative of constant is 0. Derivative of 5x will give us 5. Times 5. Divide by bottom squared. That is 3 plus 5x. Everything squared. Simplify and get your final answer. Let me repeat. Bottom times the derivative of the top minus top times the derivative of the bottom. Divide by the bottom squared. All right. Minus will affect all of this, right? So we have minus 3 minus 5x. Then this minus will also affect that, but 5 times 2 is 10, so we have negative 10. 5 times x, negative x is what? Negative 5x. We have another negative, so this is positive 5x. Divide by the bottom squared, which is 3 plus 5x, everything squared. Let us collect the like terms. Should we start with the constants? Let's do that. Negative 3, negative 10, that will give us negative 13. Negative 5x, positive 5x will cancel, so we only have the bottom squared, 3 plus 5x, everything squared. Do we have that option? Yeah, you can see that here, they just switch 3 and 5x to write it as what? 5x plus 3 whole squared. Remember, addition is commutative. Saying 2 plus 3 is the same thing as 3 plus 2. And hence, this is our final answer. Let's move on to question number 13. And here is question number 13. The operation, which you can see right here, is defined on the set of real numbers by this. So wherever you have this operation connected with any two real numbers x, y, it is the same thing as the square root of the first minus the square root of the second, divide by 2 times the square root of the first, plus 3 times the square root of the second. Then, given that both x and y are all positive real numbers, we're asked to evaluate 7 with the operation to 4, right? This operation is called a binary operation because it is always connected with two numbers. All right. So wherever we have x, we should replace it with 7 and y with 4. So from there, we have the square root of 7 minus the square root of 4. Divide by 2 times the square root of 7 plus 3 times the square root of 4. Right? Before I multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the bottom, I would like to let you know that square root of 4 is 2, right? So remember, we are dealing with objective questions. So permit me to just replace this with 2. So this is 2 times 3, which is 6, right? Aha. So from here, we can multiply the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the bottom, and the conjugate of the bottom is just a difference of sign. If it is plus, you use minus. If it is minus, you use plus. 2 to the 7 minus 6. Divide by what? 2 to the 7 minus 6. So we are multiplying the top and the bottom by the conjugate of the bottom. So let's expand. Let's start from here. Root 7 times root 7 will give us 7. Then times 2 will give us 14. That is to the top. Root 7 times negative 6 will give us negative 6 root 7. We are done with this one. Then we'll move here. Minus 2 times 2 is 4 root 7. Right? Then negative is positive. 2 times 6 is 12. Divide by. This is nothing but difference of two squares. You can see they're exactly the same, just that this is plus, this is minus. You take the first time, you square that. That will be 2 root 7 squared. Then minus the other one, 6 squared. This is equal to, let's start with this ones. 14 plus this will give us 26, right? This is 26. Minus 10 root 7. Minus 10 root 7, because minus 6 minus 4 is minus 10. Divide by 2 squared is 4. Root 7 squared is 7. This is 28, right? So we have 28 here. Minus 6 squared is 36. So let me continue here. We have 26 minus 10 root 7 divide by 28 minus 36 will give us negative 8, right? So this is negative 8. All right. Let me see. We can break it apart as negative 26 divided by 8, then plus, because minus is plus, 10 divided by 8 root 7. So we need to simplify. 2 can divide 8 4 times. 2 can divide this 13. So we have negative 13 divided by 4 here, plus 2 can divide this exactly how many times? 4 times. 2 can divide this 5 times. We still have root 7. So this is our final answer. Where do we have such? B. Let's move on to question number 14. And here is question number 14. Question number 14 reads, if m and n are the roots of the quadratic equation x squared plus kx plus 4 equal to 0, and m squared plus n squared is equal to 8, then find the positive value of k. We have available options here. All right. What can you remember? The sum of quadratic roots can always be obtained by taking minus b divided by a, right? And the product of roots can always be obtained by taking c divided by e. Yes. What is sum? Sum meaning you should add the two roots together, m and n. So m plus n will be minus b divided by a. Minus b is the coefficient of x, which is minus k. Divide by a. A is the leading coefficient, so this is just minus k. That's what you should know. Then the product, that is m multiplied by n, is equal to c divided by a. C is 4, divided by 1 is still 4. This is one thing you should know. And we have that m squared plus n squared is equal to 8. Remember, if I have m plus n to the power of 2, this can be expanded by taking the first term squared, the second term squared, plus 2 times the first term times the second term. But this is exactly what we have here. So let us make it the subject. And therefore, m squared plus n squared is equal to m plus n whole squared minus 2mn. This is equal to 8 from the question. This is 8. The sum is what? Negative k squared. Because we have a power of 2 here. Minus 2 times the product is 4. So this is where we need to solve for the k. Come down here. 8 is equal to k squared minus 8. And you can take this minus 8 backward, it becomes positive. So you can see that k squared is equal to what? 16, because it will be 8 plus 8, which is 16. Then to find k, we're going to take square root of both sides. K will now be equal to the square root of 16. I'm not going to add plus or minus because they said positive value of k. And hence k is equal to 4. Do we have that? Yes. Option D. Now let us move on to question number 15. And here is question number 15. Given that the second derivative of y with respect to x is equal to x minus 1, we have initial value conditions here. Y prime of 1 is equal to 5 and y of 0 is equal to 6. Then we're asked to find the original function y of x. All right, let's get started. If this is the second derivative, once you integrate it, it becomes what? The first derivative. Therefore, dy over dx will be equal to the integral of what? X minus 1. And the integral of x minus 1, if you integrate x, you're going to get x squared divided by what? 2. If you integrate 1 negative, you're going to get negative x. Remember the constant of integration. So this is where you're going to apply the first condition here. So when x is 1, then the first derivative will be 5. So this is 5 equal to, that 1 should be plugged in here. We have 1 squared divided by 2 minus 1 plus c, because we want to find the value of c. This is a half minus 1. That will give us negative a half. Take that negative here, it becomes positive a half. So 5 plus 1 over 2 is equal to c. This is 10 minus 10 plus 1 is 11 divided by 2 is equal to c. And hence, c, remember we are dealing with objective questions. So let me just plug it here. The constant of integration is 11 divided by 2. So let me continue from here. Then if you integrate it again, you're going to get y equal to, you integrate x squared divided by 2 minus x plus 11 divided by 2. If you integrate this, the power will increase by 1, it becomes 3. Then you divide by that 3. 3 times 2 will give us 6. So this is x to the power of 3 divided by 6. If you integrate this, the power will increase by 2. You have by 1, it becomes 2. You divide by 2. This is constant. Just attach x to it. Don't forget your constant of integration. This is y, right? Second condition, if y is 6, x is 0. So if you set the whole of this, x is to be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0, this will be 0. But remember, y is 6. Therefore, c will be equal to y. And y is 6. Therefore, the constant is going to be 6. So this is our y of x. Do we have such thing here? X to the power of 3 divided by 6 minus x squared divided by 2 plus 11x divided by 2 plus 6. Yes. Option C. Let's move on to question number 16. And here is question number 16, which is under binomial expansion. The numbers are too big, so I have already worked it out here. We're asked to find the coefficient of the sixth term in ascending powers of x in the expansion of 1 minus 3x divided by 4 to the power of 9. One thing you should remember is whenever you have a plus b raised to the power of n, this is why we call them binomial expansion, because you can see the two terms under the parentheses. This can be expanded using the formula n combination r, a raised to the power of n minus r, then b raised to the power of r. But if a is 1, you can use this formula n combination r, then b raised to the power of r, because whatever the power of 1 is will never change it, right? So this is what we are going to apply because we have 1 right here. But we are talking about 6 terms. Are we to expand them 1, 2, 3 up to 9, then pick the 6th term? No, because we know r start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So once you reach r equal to 5, you're already in the 6th term. Therefore, r will be equal to 5 in that term. So this is equal to, here we have n, which is 9 from our binomial, combination 5, because we have to choose r equal to 5, then b, which is negative 3x divided by 4 raised to the power of 5. So this is what we need to expand. But I'm coming. This is equal to 9 combination 5 multiplied by, what is 3 to the power of 5? I have it here already. 3 to the power of 5 is 243. 243. But because this is negative, 243 x to the power of 5, right? Then what about 4 to the power of 5? 4 to the power of 5 is 1024. 1024. So we only need to expand 9 combination 5. So let me do that here. 9 combination 5 is 9 factorial. Divide by 9 minus 5 is 4, also factorial. Then 5 also factorial. We can break it into what? 9 times 8 times 7 times 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Let me stop here because I can see we have 5 factorial here. Then 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times the 5 factorial, which I want to cancel with this one. 4 together with 2 will give us 8. They will cancel this one. And this 1 here, this 2 here. So we take 9 times 7 times 2, which is 126. So everything here is 126. So we have to multiply the whole of this by 126. So let me see what I've got here. 126 times 243 negative. That will give us 30,618. 30,618 divided by 1024. This is equal to, forget about the x cubed, x to the power of 5, because this is the coefficient of what? X to the power of 5. That is what we are looking for. So here, if we reduce it to the lowest term, we got 15,309. 15,309 divided by 2 here is 512. So this is what we have as the coefficient of x to the power of 5. Do we have it here? 1539. Yeah, I think this one, right? Option E. Now let us move on to question number 17. And here is question number 17. We're asked to find the value of x for which the determinant of this is equal to 14. And how can we find the determinant? We multiply the leading diagonals to x times negative 5 will give us what? Negative 10x. We subtract, this is constant, the other diagonal. X times negative 3 will give us negative 3x. But we still have negative here, so this is positive 3x. This is the determinant, equal to 14. This together we have negative 7x, equal to 14. Divide both sides by negative 7. and x will be negative 2. This is option D. Let's move on to question number 18. And here is question number 18. We are asked to calculate the standard deviation of the following data. All right, what is the formula? We are going to use the formula, which is the square root. Standard deviation is equal to the square root summation of what? X minus x bar squared divided by what? N. So we need to find x bar, which is the mean. X bar is equal to, you sum all of this, you divide by their number. So this is 2 plus 7 plus 10 plus 11 plus 16 plus 20 divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see. I can see that this is 2, this is 9. Together with 11 we have 20, 30, 50, 66. Divide by 6 is 11. So I can see that x bar is 11. That is number one. Then remember, we are looking for the summations. So let me use my square root, big square root here. What is the first x? First x is 2. So we take 2 minus 11, and that will give us what? 9, right? And negative 9. And negative 9 squared is 81, if I'm not mistaken. Then the second one is 7. 7 minus 11 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is 16. Remember, we are squaring, right? And we're taking sum. This is why I'm adding. Next one is 10. Minus 11 is negative 1 squared is 1. Next one is 16. Minus 11 will give us 5 squared is 25. And last one is 20. 20 minus 11 is 9. 9 squared is 81. Oh, I should have written plus here. Everything divide by their number, 6. So let me take my calculator. 81 plus 16 plus 1 plus 25 plus 81 divide by 6. I got 34. Square root of 34. And what is square root of 34? Square root of 34. This is 5.8 approximately. 5.8. 8 something. 83. Oh yeah, I have it here already. Chai. So A is the correct answer. Let's move on to question number 19. And here is question number 19. The dot product between two vectors P and Q is equal to 1, where vector P is this and vector Q is this. We're asked to find the value of x right here. So what you should know about is, if I have a vector A that has this entries, maybe AI plus BJ, and I have another vector B which has entries CI and DJ. All right. A dot B is going to be a scalar, remember. So it would be A multiplied by C plus B multiplied by D. As simple as that. Therefore, P dot Q will be equal to what? 3 over 5 multiplied by negative 3, negative 5 divided by 3, then plus x times 4 over 7. Remember, everything is equal to 1 from the question. This will cancel everything here. We have negative 1. This will be 4x divided by 7 equals to 1. If you take negative 1 to the other side, it becomes positive. 1 plus 1 is 2. So we have 4 over 7x equal to 2. Then you can multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 4 over 7, which is going to be 7 over 4. So let's come here. Therefore, x is equal to 2 times 7 over 4. 2 here, 1, 2 here, 2. And x is equal to 7 divided by 2. Do we have that? Option A. Then question number 20. And here is question number 20. We are given two vectors u and v, and we asked to find the direction of u plus v. We have to add u and v first. U plus v will be equal to 3i plus 2i. That will be 5i. Then 4 minus 3, that would be positive 1i. That is just j, right? Okay. Then to find the direction, we're going to utilize their coefficients. Tan inverse of, the coefficient here is 1. This is 5. As simple as that. And tan inverse of 1 over 5 will be approximately 11.31 degrees. So let me just round it to the nearest degrees. You can use your calculator to confirm. So this is our final answer, 11 degrees. But we don't have 11 degrees here. So how comes? Does it mean we are wrong? No. Pay attention. All these are given in three-figure bearing, which normally starts from the north, right? Or from the south. So if you calculate 11 degrees, which is from the standard position, you could have this direction to be 11 degrees. But remember, this is the north. They decided to calculate it from the north. The goal is what? To have the same position, because we are talking about direction, remember. So what will be this angle? Remember, the total from north to the east is 90. So we have 11 here. What will be here? That will be 90 minus 11. 90 minus 10 is 80. 80 minus 1 is 79. So this is 079 in three figures. All right, so this is equivalent to 079 degrees, which is option A. And this is question number 20. We're going to question number 21. And here is question number 21. The polynomial g of x equal to 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus qx minus 1 has the same remainder when divided by x plus 2 and x minus 1. We're asked to find the value of q, which is the coefficient of x. So to find the remainder by dividing a polynomial by a binomial, all you have to do is to take that binomial, set it to be equal to 0 and solve for x. Once you set this to be equal to 0, solve for x, that will give you x equal to negative 2. Take that negative 2, plug it here. Whatever you obtain is said to be the remainder. So we are going to plug in negative 2 into g. So wherever we have x, we are going to replace that by negative 2. So we have 2 multiplied by negative 2 to the power of 3 plus 3 multiplied by negative 2 to the second power plus q multiplied by negative 2 minus 1. You see that? So what do we need to do? Simplify. Negative 2 to the power of 3, that will give you negative 8. Negative 8 times 2, that will be negative 16. Negative 2 to the power of 2 will be positive 4. Times this will give you 12. This is minus what? 2q minus 1. This and this will give us what? Minus 4, right? And minus 4 minus 1 will be minus 5. So this together will give us minus 5 minus 2q. And this is said to be the remainder. We're going to do the same thing for this one. If you set this to be equal to 0, x will be positive 1. Plug it into g. G of 1 will be equal to 2, 1 to the power of 3 plus 3 times 1 squared plus q times 1, then minus 1, right? 1 to the power of whatever is still 1. So this is 2. This is 3. That is 5 minus 1 is 4, then plus q. So this is 4 plus q. But they said that they have the same remainder, which implies that this must be equal to that, right? Which implies that 4 plus q is equal to negative 5 minus 2q. If this crosses over, it becomes positive 2q, and we have a q here making 3q's. If this crosses over, it becomes negative. We have negative 5, negative 4, that's negative 9. Negative 9. And by dividing both sides by the coefficient of q, negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. And finally, q equal to negative 3. Do we have it here? Yeah. Option C. Let us move on to question number 22. And here is question number 22. Question number 22 reads, the gradient of point Q on the curve y equal to 7x squared plus 2x plus 1 is 30. Find the coordinate of Q. Though there's a mistake in writing this question, dear WAEC, you should know that a point doesn't have a gradient, but a curve does, right? So it should be the gradient of the curve, this, at point Q. That's how the question should be. And this coordinates should be coordinates because you see they are in pair, x, y, x, y. So it should be coordinates. I just don't want to correct it here. I would like to leave it as it is from the question paper. But it should be gradient of the curve at point Q, not gradient of point Q, because a point doesn't have a gradient. All right, what does it mean? It means that, let us differentiate this. But remember, this curve is an open-up, right? Parabola. And since the gradient, you can see the slope is positive, it means it is around where the curve is increasing, somewhere situated here. Maybe we have a point Q here. So we have a straight line here, touching the curve at exactly one point. This is why it is what? At point. It is touching the curve at exactly one point. So we call this what? A tangent line. A tangent line is a line touching the curve at exactly one point. So we would like to determine the x and y coordinates here. So let us differentiate it. dy over dx will be equal to, this 2 will drop down to multiply 7. You have 14x. Reduce the exponent by 1. It becomes 1. You move to the next. This has naturally a power of 1. It will drop down and multiply 2. Then the power will reduce by 1. It becomes 0. X to the power of 0 is 1. So we only have 2. Derivative of constant is 0. So it means that the whole of this is equal to 30. So let's solve for x. Take this one to the other side. It becomes negative 30 minus 2 is 28. So we have 14x equal to 28. As you divide both sides by 14, x will be equal to 2. And hence, without even solving for y, you can see the solution here. But let us confirm. Take the value of x, plug it into the original function. So y of 2 will be equal to 7 times 2 squared plus 2 times 2 plus 1. 2 squared is 4. And 4 times 7 is 28, right? 28 plus 4 is 32, right? Plus 1 is 33. Yeah, you see that here. So this is equal to 33. So when x is 2, y is 33. The coordinates are 2 and 33. Let's move on to question number 23. And here is question number 23. The roots of quadratic equation 3x squared minus x minus 1 equal to 0 are alpha and beta. We are asked to find the value of alpha squared plus beta squared plus 2 divided by 9. I know some people might go extra mile to solve this equation, then substitute for alpha and beta, but we're not going to do that. Instead, what do we know? We know the sum is equal to what? Minus b divided by a, and the product will be what? The constant divided by a, which is the leading coefficient. But if you like, you can go extra mile to solve the problem. So the sum is equal to what? Minus b divided by a. Alpha plus beta, which is the sum, will now be equal to b is the coefficient of x, which is minus 1. If you minus it, it becomes 1 divided by 3, right? 1 divided by 3. Then the product is equal to c divided by e, which means that alpha times beta is equal to, what is c? Negative 1 divided by a, which is 3. So these are what we have. But we are looking for x squared, alpha squared plus beta squared. One thing you should know is that alpha plus beta whole squared is equal to alpha squared plus beta squared plus 2 times alpha beta, right? This is what we know. But we can make this the subject. Therefore, alpha squared plus beta squared is equal to alpha plus beta to the left whole squared, then minus this to alpha beta. But we have the sum and the product. Let us plug them here. The sum is 1 over 3. So this is 1 over 3 to the power of 2 minus 2 times, what is the product? Minus 1 over 3. Let's simplify. This is going to give us 1 over 9, right? So we have 1 divided by 9 minus, and minus is plus, so we have plus here. 2 over 3, right? 2 over 3. The LCM is 9. 9 into 9 is 1 times 1 is 1 plus 3 into 9 is 3 times 2 is 6. So this together will give us 7 divided by 9. 7 divided by 9 is alpha squared plus beta squared, which you can see right here. But we are looking for the total sum here. So we need to add 2 over 9 again. So 7 over 9 plus 2 over 9 will give us what? 9 over 9. And 9 over 9 is equal to 1, which is option D. Let's move on to question number 24. And here is question number 24. The ages in years of 10 children in a school are 4, 4.5, 7.8, 9.5, 6, 9, 12.5, 11, 5, and 5.5. We're asked to calculate correct to 2 decimal places the mean deviation. The mean deviation, we're talking about the absolute deviation from the mean, right? So let us calculate the mean first before we come back to mean deviation. X bar is equal to what? Sum of all the years divided by 10, because they are 10 in number, right? So I'm not going to waste my time. Remember, we are dealing with objective questions. So let me just add these numbers together. We have 4 plus 4.5 plus 7.8 plus 9.5 plus 6 plus 9 plus 12.5 plus 11 plus 5 plus 5.5. Everything divided by 10. So we have 7.48. 7.48. So talking about the mean deviation, MD, is equal to the summation of what? All the, absolute value of x minus x bar divided by n. That's what we are going to compute. So x, these are the x's we have. So we're going to take each and subtract the mean. If we get negative number, we take absolute value, right? That's what we're going to do. So let me start with the first one. We have 4 minus 7.48. Negative 3.48, but we are going to take the positive version. 3.48 plus, we take the second one. 4.5 minus 7.48. We have negative 2.98. But I'm going to take the positive 2.98 plus 7.8. 7.8 minus the mean, which is 7.48 We have 0.32. 0.32. Let's move on to the next one. 9.5. 9.5 minus 7.48. We have 2.02. 2.02. Then 6 minus 7.48. We have negative 1.48. 1.48. Remember, we're taking all the positive values. Then after 6, we have 9 minus 7.48. That is 1.52. 1.52 plus 12.5 minus 7.48. We have 5.02. 5.02. Then 11 minus 7.48. We have 3.52. 3.52 plus, where did I stop? 11, then 5 minus 7.48. That is negative 2.48. 2.48. Remember, we're talking about absolute value. Then the last values, we have 5.5 minus 7.48. We have negative 1.98. And I'm going to take the positive 1.98. All right. So now let us add all of this together and divide by 10. Everything divide by 10. That will give us 2.48. Do we have that? Yes, we do. Everything you get here divided by 10, that will give you 2.48. Let's move on to question number 25. And here is question number 25. The distance s in meters covered by a particle in t seconds is given by the equation 7 divided by the function 7 divided by 2t squared plus 5t plus 18. We're asked to find the acceleration of the particle. Okay, we are given what? The distance. Acceleration is going to be the second derivative because the first derivative will be a velocity, second derivative will be an acceleration. So let us differentiate it for the first time. We have the velocity to be what? ds over dt equal to, if this 2 crosses over and multiply 7 over 2, that would be just 7, right? Just 7. Then you reduce the exponent by 1, it becomes just power 1. If you differentiate 5t, you get 5. The derivative of constant is 0. You redifferentiate again in order to get the acceleration. A. We have d squared s over dt squared, right? dt squared. This is equal to, this is 7. This will be 0, right? And this is meter per second. Yes, option D. Question number 26. And here is question number 26. Given that g of x equal to 2x plus 5, find the image of negative 3 in g inverse of x, or what? The inverse function of g of x. I think I have 2 different ways to solve this problem. You should remember that the input of original function will be the output for the inverse function. So since this negative 3 is an input of the inverse, then it says to be an output for the original function, which implies that 2x plus 5 is equal to negative 3, where negative 3 is nothing but g of x. Then you solve for x. Taking this one to the other side, it becomes negative, right? You have 2x equal to negative 5, negative 3, that is negative 8. Divide both sides by 2, x will be what? Negative 4. This is our final answer. But remember, you can find the inverse of this function. And how can you do that? By making x the subject. Let us treat this as g equal to 2x plus 5. Make x the subject. It will be what? 2x equal to g minus 5. Divide both sides by 2. X equal to g minus 5 divided by 2. Next, change x to g inverse of x and make g equal to x. So now you can plug in the value, which is -3. G inverse of -3 is equal to -3 minus 5 divided by 2. -3, -5 is -8 divided by 2 is -4. So in either case, you have to get -4. Let us move on to question number 27. Am I too fast? Here is question number 27. Find the coefficient of x to the power of 3 in the binomial expansion of m minus 5x to the power of 7. Without wasting much time, remember, if you have a plus b raised to the power of n, it can be expanded using the formula what n combination r, a raised to the power of n minus r, b raised to the power of r. So if -5x is m, then we are looking for the term where this will take a power of 3. And it happens exactly when r is equal to 3, right? Because this to the power of 3 will make x to have a power of 3. So pay attention to that one. So we're going to take, if you relate, we're going to take n, which is 7, right? That is n. Combination what? 3, because r, we are taking r to be 3. A is m to the power of what? N minus 3. 7 minus 3 is what? 4. So where do we have m to the power of 4? Either this or this. Let's keep on going. B, which is what? -5x to the power of what? R, which is 3. Let's expand. What is 7 combination 3? It's 7 factorial divided by 7 minus 3, which is 4, also factorial, then 3 factorial. Should I take m to the end? What is 5 times 5 times 5? I think it's 125, but this should be negative, right? -125 x to the power of 3, then m to the power of 4. So this is the only thing we need to expand. We can write it as 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial, because I have 4 factorial here, divided by 4 factorial, times 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. This will cancel this. This is 6. Will cancel this. So let me multiply everything directly. We have 7 times 5, right, from here, then times 125 negative, 125. That will be 4375 negative. Everything here will be -4375 m to the power of 4. Yes, option E. Let's move on to question number 28. And here is question number 28. A particle of mass 4 kg moves from a point P with velocity of 3i plus 10j meter per second and reach a point Q with velocity of 2i plus 3j meter per second. Find the change in momentum of the particle from P to Q. All right, remember the momentum is equal to mass times velocity, right? But here we are talking about change in momentum. So we're going to say that the change in momentum is equal to mass times v2 minus v1. The final velocity minus the initial velocity. M is what? 4, according to the question, multiplied by final velocity is this, that is 2i plus 3j, the minus initial velocity. You know the sign will affect everything, right? That is 3i minus 10j. You either put a bracket or you negate all of them because you are minusing everything. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Times 4 is minus 4i, right? Minus 4i. Then 3 minus 10 is minus 7. Times 4 is minus 28. Minus 28j. So this is what the change in momentum. Do we have it here? Yeah, we have it as option B. Let's move on to question number 29. And here is question number 29. If the lines 3x plus 2y equal to 4 and 2x minus ky equal to 1 are perpendicular to each other, we're asked to find the value of k. Before then, I would like to rearrange each equation of the line into its slope-intercept form. From the first one, which is 3x plus 2y equal to 4, I would like to take everything to the other side and make y the subject. So 2y is equal to negative 3x plus 4 as 3x crosses over. Then we divide both sides by 2. Y will now be what? Negative 3 over 2x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. We are done with this one. Then the other one, we have 2x minus ky equal to 1, right? You take this one to the other side, leaving negative ky equal to, this will become negative 2x, then we still have plus 1. Now we're going to divide both sides by negative k. Y will now be equal to, this divided by this, the negatives will cancel, leaving 2 over k, x minus 1 over k, all right? We are done. But remember, if two lines are perpendicular, it means that the slope of one line is a negative reciprocal of the slope of the other line. So which one should we take? Let me take this one. The slope here, m, is negative 3 over 2, right? Then the negative reciprocal, this is how we do that, right? I begin to forget. Negative reciprocal, you take reciprocal and you negate it. This becomes 2 over 3, which means that if the slope of this, then the slope of that will be this. That is the rule. Or you can start from here. Reciprocal of this will be what? K over 2. You negate it. That is negative k over 2 will be the same thing as negative 3 over 2. Do you understand? Therefore, this, which is 2 over k, that is the slope of the other line, must be equal to this one. That is 2 over 3. If the numerators are the same, it implies that the denominators are also the same, which implies that k must be equal to 3. And you can do that other way around. The negative reciprocal of this will be negative k over 2, which means that it must be equal to this one, negative 3 over 2. Negatives will cancel, the same denominators, k will be equal to 3 in either case. So option A. Let's move on to question number 30. And here is question number 30, which is under probability. In a dart firing contest, the probabilities that Adi and John hit the target are 1 over 6 and 3 over 5 respectively. What is the probability that only one of them will hit the target? Already we are given the respective probabilities of hitting the target, but the question is only asking us to find the probability that only one of them will hit the target. This can only happen if one misses and the other one get it right or hit the target. So first of all, since we know there are probabilities of getting it right, look at it. Probability of, let me use A for Adi. For Adi hitting the target is equal to 1 over 6, right? So what is the probability of Adi missing the target? It is complement, right? That will be 1 minus 1 over 6. I don't want to show workings because of the limited space. 1 minus 1 over 6 will give us 5 over 6. 5 over 6. If you add this two, you must get 1. Then the same thing for John. Probability of John hitting the target is 3 over 5. But his probability of missing J complement is equal to 1 minus this, which is going to give us 2 over 5. All right. So what we are going to compute is probability of one hitting the target and one missing, or probability of other way around. So let's start with this one. If I don't have more space, I told you, our main goal is just to find the final answer. So if I got it right, hit the target, and this one misses, right? And is multiplication, 2/5. Or plus, remember, Ade missed the target, 5/6. And if he missed the target, then this will get the target. That is 3/5. 3/5. This is what you need to simplify to get your final answer. So let me see, we have 3/30 here. And this is 15/30 if you multiply. Common denominators, and we're adding this plus this will give us, is it 18? Yes, 18/30. Does it mean we have missed something? Because I cannot see 18/30 here. Let me look at it carefully. Oh, this should be 2. 1 times 2 is 2. This is 2, right? So this will be 17. All right, so our final answer is 17/30. Let's move on to question number 31. Here is question number 31 of WAEC 2025 Further Mathematics examination. Two forces, F1 and F2, act on a particle. We're asked to calculate the magnitude of the force that will keep the particle in equilibrium. You can see the two forces of 8 newtons each, just that they are acted on different directions. So what formula are we going to use? We are going to use the formula R equal to the square root of R of x squared plus R of y squared. These are what components. So we have to find this component and this one. So to find x component, it is going to be, let's start with the first one. 8 multiplied by cosine of 60 degrees. Then plus, you move to the other side. 8 multiplied by cosine of 330 degrees. So let's compute everything here. I'm going to use my calculator and write everything directly into the calculator. We have 8 multiplied by cosine of 60 degrees. Then plus 8 multiplied by cosine of 330 degrees. I have approximately 10.9. 10.9. Then R of y will be equal to 8 sine this time around. Sine of 60 degrees plus 8 sine of 330 degrees. So let's see what we're going to get here. 8 multiplied by sine of 60 degrees plus 8 multiplied by sine of 330 degrees. And I have approximately 2.9. 2.9. All right, so we're going to plug them here. Therefore, R is equal to the square root of 10.9 squared plus 2.9 also squared. All right. The square root of 10.9 squared plus 2.9 also squared. I have this to be 11.279. 11.279. I know it should be this one because I can approximate it to 11.30, right? The only reason I think we got different answers is because of the approximations. I use 1 decimal place here. For more accuracy, you may take up to 4 decimal places. but definitely it should be this one. This is the right option. I want you to compute the same problem, but take like 4 decimal places and see whether you're going to get this one, because this is more closer to 11.3 than all of these 3. Let's move on to question number 32. And here is question number 32. Given that tangent of P is equal to 3 divided by 4 and tangent of Q is equal to 8 divided by 15, we're asked to evaluate tangent of P plus Q. This is double angle, right? If you want to evaluate this one, you can take the tangent of the first one, which is P, you add it to the tangent of the second one, which is Q, you divide by 1 minus tangent of the first one multiplied by tangent of the second one. You simplify. Tangent of P is 3 divided by 4. 3 divided by 4 plus 8 divided by 15. The whole of this divide by 1 minus tangent of this, which is that, so we are multiplying tangent of P by tangent of Q. 3 over 4 multiplied by 8 over 15. So all we need to do is to simplify these fractions. We have couples of ways. We can multiply the top and the bottom by the LCM. Should we do that? All right, but first of all, I think let me simplify the top and the bottom. The LCM of 4 and 15 is 60, right? So the denominator will be 60. 4 can divide 60 exactly 15 times, and 15 times 3 is 45. So we have 45 here, plus 15 can divide 60 exactly 4 times, and 4 times 8 is 32. Divide by, I think we can reduce this one. 1 minus 4 can divide 8 2 times. So 4 here, 1, 4 here, 2, 3 here, 1, 3 here is 5. So we have 2 over 5 here. 2 over 5. Let me continue here. If you add this together, you're going to get 77. 77 to the top, divide by 60, then divide by, what do we have here? This is 3 over 5. 3 over 5. Yes, because 1 minus 2 over 5 is 3 over 5. So dividing by a fraction is the same thing by us multiplying by the reciprocal of that fraction. So this is 77 divided by 60 multiplied by 5 over 3. Let me see. 5 here, 1, 5. How many 5 can we have in 60? In 6 is 1. We have a remainder of 1. You bring it here. You have 12 here, right? So 12 times 3 is 36, right? So this is 77 divided by 36. Do we have something like that here? Yes, we do. Option C. Let's move on to question number 33. And here is question number 33. Find the volume of the solid of revolution generated when the region bounded by y equal to 3x squared, x equal to 0, x equal to 2, and x-axis is rotated about x-axis through 360 degrees. I promise you, not every university student can solve this problem. Yes, this is why I said further mathematics should be made mandatory by all secondary school students. Let's go through it. I think before we solve this problem, it is important to sketch it so that you see everything. We have the y-axis, we have the x-axis, we have y equal to 3x squared. You know it is going to be a parabola, an open-up parabola. Something like this. Just a sketch. X equal to 0. X equal to 0 is this. If they say you should sketch x equal to 0 or construct x equal to 0, it is the vertical line on y-axis. X equal to 2, assuming this is x equal to 1, this is x equal to 2. If they say you should construct x equal to 2, you should know that it is this straight vertical line that passes through x equal to 2. X-axis, we are talking about this region. This is the x-axis. Is rotated about x-axis. This is x-axis, right? 360 degrees, a complete cycle. So we are rotating this axis so that everything here will be reflected down. How I wish I have this digital board, I could have illustrated very well. So if this region rotated down, I'm going to bring it out for you to see what happened. It is going to form something like this. Observe. And since it is 360, it is going to form a curve, which is a cycle. We have a disk. So you can see we have a bunch of cycles of different size, of different radius. This is the center, right? This is a cycle. We could have another cycle, 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 because we rotate x-axis. And remember, this is 2, this is 0. So how can you find the volume? Remember, volume is equal to area of the base times the height. But we cannot determine the height because you can see that the radius are not the same. The radius here is larger than the radius here. So we have to integrate. And how do we do that? We are going to integrate the function. You have seen where it started from origin to 2, right? So this is y-axis, this is origin, and it stops at what? 2. So it is going to be the integral from 0 to 2. And you know, this is going to be area of a cycle. And every cycle has a particular thickness, and that thickness is dx. A little change on x-axis. It is going to be, area of a cycle is what? Pi r squared. So let me bring the pi outside since it is constant. Then r squared should be inside with dx. But what is this r before we square that? R is from here to here. And since it touches this function, and this function is what? 3x squared. So it is going to be 3x squared is our r, also squared. All right. This is equal to pi times the integral from 0 to 2 of 9. I'm going to bring that 9 because 3 squared is 9. X squared squared is going to be x to the power of 4. So this is x to the power of 4 dx inside. But I would like to bring that 9 outside because it is also a constant. We are only integrating this. So if you integrate that, you have 9 pi multiplied by everything. You add 1 here, it becomes 5. You divide by 5. You have x to the power of 5 divided by 5. Remember the limit from 0 to 2. So let us plug in everything inside. This is equal to 9 pi multiplied by, if you plug in 2, you have 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16 times 2 is 32, right? If I'm not mistaken. 32 divided by 5. 32 divided by 5. Then you subtract. Once you plug in 0, everything becomes 0. So we have 0 here. So this is what we need to simplify. But where is the question? I think they said we should use pi as 22 divided by 7. Let me confirm. Yes, they say we should take pi equal to 22 over 7. You know, mostly in Nigeria we use pi as 22 divided by 7, which I don't like using. It's not accurate. So we're going to substitute this. This will be 9 times 22 divided by 7 times 32 divided by 5. So let me multiply the top and divide by the bottom. We have 9 multiplied by 22 multiplied by 32. Everything, you should divide that by 7. You should also divide by 5. and I have 181.02, yeah, units. The units are not given, so you should write units to the power of 3. You know, this is cubic unit when you're talking about the volume. For the area, it is going to be what? Squared. Why do we use area inside? Remember, it is what? Area of the base times the height, and the height is that integral from 0 to 2. All right, so this is our final answer, 181. Let's move on to question number 34. And here is question number 34. A body initially at rest is acted upon by forces F1, F2, and F3. We're asked to find, correct to one decimal place, the magnitude of the resultant force. We have available options here. So the magnitude of the resultant forces is equal to the square root of r of x squared plus r of y also squared. But what is this r of x? Is equal to 6 cosine of 30 degrees plus 8 cosine of 180 degrees plus 10 cosine of 90 degrees. 6 cosine of 30 plus 8 cosine of 180 plus 10 cosine of 90. We have negative 2.804 in 3 decimal places. Then r of y, just to replace this with sine, 6 sine of 30 plus 8 sine of 180 plus 10 sine of 90 degrees. So let's just replace cosine by sine. And we have exactly 13 here. Then r is equal to the square root of what? Negative 2.804 squared plus 13 squared. Let's see what we are going to obtain. The square root of negative 2.804 squared plus 13 also squared. We have 13.29 approximately. 13.298 and so on. 13.3 is approximately the same, right? Let's move on to question number 35. And here is question number 35. Find the locus of points 8 centimeter from a point T that has the coordinates 0, 3. What does that mean? It means if you have a point T here, points that are 8 centimeters apart from this, it means they are all equal. They are equal distance, right? Equidistance. They are 8 centimeters each. What does it mean? It means that T is a center and this will be a radius, which means that this is a cycle. And we know that a cycle has the formula x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equal to r squared. This is going to be a center, right? This is the coordinate of x, this is the coordinate of y. So a is 0 in this situation, so we have x minus 0 is still x, so we have x squared plus y minus b is 3 squared is equal to r squared, that is 8 squared, which is this one. So let's simplify. X squared plus first term squared minus 2 times this will be 6y plus this squared, 3 squared is 9. This is equal to 64. All right. And let's take 9 to the other side. We have x squared plus y squared minus 6y equal to 64 minus 9. 64 minus 9 is 55. Finally, we have x squared plus y squared minus 6y equal to 55. Do we have that here? Yes, the first one. Let's move on to question number 36. And here is question number 36. Question number 36 reads, how many 3 and 4 digits odd numbers can be formed with the numbers 0, 1, 2, 4, and 5 if repetitions are not allowed? We would like to find how many ways we can reshuffle these numbers to form 3-digit number and also 4-digit number. So let's start with 3-digit number. So 3-digit number, we have 1, 2, 3. We want to reshuffle this number so that we can have only 3 digits. So how many different ways we can do this? Remember, an odd number is a number that is not divisible by 2. Secondly, any odd number must end with an odd number. What does it mean? It means that the unit digit must also be an odd number. So we have 2 odd numbers here, 1 and 5. So we are going to do the other one here also, 1, 2, 3. Let's assume this one ends with 1 and this one ends with 5 because it must be like this. So since this one is fixed, starting here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But this one is fixed. We still have 4. We would like to take these 4 numbers and reshuffle them here. Different ways. So it will be what? Remember, we are talking about arrangement, so it is permutation. We have 4 permutation 2, right? Because we have only 2 digits here to reshuffle. But also you should know that 0 cannot be our first digit. Yes. Because assuming you have a number 0, 1, 5, this is a 2-digit number because this 0 is insignificant. So we have to subtract the number of times 0 appear here. We have to remove it. So assuming 0 is fixed here, we still have 1 digit here to play around with, right? So since you have number here, you have another one here, making 2 out of 5, we still have 3 permutation 1. Because those 3 digits, we have to find a way to reshuffle them upon this position. So we have to subtract 3 permutation 1. And it is the same thing here. The same thing, just that this is 1, this is 5, right? So since the number of different arrangements here are the same here, we can just use this one and multiply it by 2. Yes. All right, so we are done with, what do we call it? 3-digit numbers. So let's go to 4-digit numbers because I want to work them all at once. It is also going to be what? 2, because it is either going to end with 5 or 1. So we're only going to work with these positions. Multiplied by. We have 5 digits, we have taken 1, right? Remaining 3, so we have to take 4 because the rest of the digits will be 4. We have to reshuffle them around these 3 positions. Then you also have to subtract wherever 0 appears. So assuming wherever 0 appears here in the first digit here, if you take this and that, we have taken 2 out of 5. Remain 3, go. And 3, we have to reshuffle them here. So 3 permutation 2. So if you simplify this, it will give you your answer because it is either going to end with 1 or 5. 1 or 5. So if you do for 1, you have to do for 5. This is why we have 2 here. So let's break this down. This is equal to 2 multiplied by. What is 4 permutation 2? That's a simple way to do that. Remember, if you subtract 2 from 4, you're going to get 2. So take 4, keep on multiplying backward till you reach the number before that 2. So it will be 4 times 3, you stop, which is going to give you 12, right? 3 minus 1 is 2. So you have to take 3 and multiply it by a number before 2, which we don't have. Therefore, it has to be 3, right? Minus 3. This is just a shortcut. Plus 2. 4 minus 3 is 1. So you take 4, 3, 2. You stop because you don't have to reach after that 1. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 2 is 24, right? So this is 24 minus 3 minus 2 is 1. So it will be 3 times 2, which is 6, right? All right. This minus this is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. This minus this will be 18, right? And 18 times 2 is 36. So what happened if we add these two together? This is going to be 54, right? 54. Yes, we have it here as option A. Now let us move on to question number 37. And here is question number 37. We are given a matrix M that has these entries. This is 2 by 2 matrix. We're asked to find the inverse of this particular matrix. Since it is a 2 by 2 matrix and you are dealing with objective questions, I'm going to show you a shortcut way of doing that. M inverse will be equal to 1 over the determinant of M multiplied by, it is going to be what? Adjoint of this matrix. So let me just write it here, adjoint of matrix M. How can we find the determinant? This is 1 divided by the determinant will be this times this. Negative 5 times 0 will give you 0. Then you minus this times this, which is going to give you negative 21. So 0 minus 21 is positive 21, right? Then you multiply by the adjoint. The adjoint is a transpose of the cofactor of that matrix. But I'm not going to do that. Instead, shortcut. Just switch the leading diagonals. So we have 0, negative 5. You see, we have just switched them. Next, multiply these two numbers by a negative 1. So this becomes negative 7. This becomes positive 3. And you are done. All you have to do is to expand or leave it like this. But since our options, you can see it is in expanded form. This is a scalar multiplying a matrix. So this time 0 is still 0. This time that will be, I know this is negative, but 7 can divide 21 3 times. So we have 1 over 3 here. And if you multiply, this will be 3 over 21. And 3 can divide 3 once, 3 can divide 21 7 times, right? Then minus 5 over 21. So this is our solution. Do we have something like this? Yes, B, right? This is the correct option. Question number 38. And here is question number 38. If a fair die is thrown twice, find the probability that the sum is not a prime number. A prime number is a number that has only 2 factors, right? 1 and itself. It cannot be divided by any number except 1 and itself. So let's see the outcomes. Since a die has how many faces? 6 faces, right? So we're going to do something like this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are talking about sum, where the sum is not a prime. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 plus 2 is 3. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, if you take 1 and add to all of these numbers, they are going to be increased by 1. Take 2, add to all of these, 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus this is 5, you see that? 6, 7, 8, 9. 4 plus 1 is 5. We have 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 5 and 1 is 6. We have 7, we have 8, we have 9, we have 10, we have 11. 6 plus 1 is 7. This is 8, this is 9, this is 10, this is 11, this is 12. Probability that the sum is not a prime is the same thing as 1 minus the probability of getting a prime. So I think we can do that either way. So where are the prime numbers? We have 1 here, you see that? We have all of this. 4 is not, but 5 is. 6 is not, but 7 is. Those that have only 2 factors, 1 and themselves. 8, 9, 10, we have 11. So let's count. How many are they? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So the probability is what? Probability of getting a prime is equal to what? 15 divided by 36. Because the total numbers here, they are 36. But the prime, they are only what? The sum that gives a prime are only what? 15. But that's not what we are looking for. We are looking for probability of the complement. This is going to be 1 minus 15 over 36. First of all, I think I can reduce it, right? 1 minus 3 can divide this 5 times. 3 can divide this 12 times. Yes. So what is 12 minus 5 is 7. So this is 7 divided by 12. Do we have that here? Yes, we do have. This is one way to do that. And another way you can do that, since we have seen that this one that I have shaded are the prime, right? But we are looking for those that are not the prime. So you count the rest. You see them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There are 21 out of 36, which can be simplified to 7 over 12. Yes. Let's move on to question number 39. And here is question number 39. Given that cos y is equal to negative 1 over 2 and tangent of y is greater than 0, then we ask to find the value of y. I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do that. Number 1, you should determine the position. Where is cosine negative on a unit cycle? Cosine is negative where x-axis is negative. This is where x-axis is negative, so it is either here or here. And we have 2 angles in this quadrant. We have 120 and we have 240. Cosine of each of these 2 angles will give you negative 1 over 2. But we have to choose one. But they say that tangent is positive in that quadrant. So remember, tangent and its reciprocals are all positive in the 3rd quadrant. Therefore, you have to consider this one. You have to consider this one. That is how you can solve it mentally. Another way you can solve it is to take cosine inverse of both sides. Because if cosine of y is negative 1 over 2, then cosine inverse of the left-hand side will give you y. Cosine inverse of the other side will give you 120 degrees. But you know that it is not 120 degrees because look at the position. Where is tangent of y? Positive, it must be here. The 3rd way, which I like the best, is if you are given cos y equal to negative 1 over 2. You can assume it is positive. If it is positive, it must be in the quadrant number 1. So you ask yourself, in quadrant number 1, cosine of which angle is 1 over 2? Definitely 60 degrees. But what is the position? The position is where tangent is positive. Because this leg is negative, this leg is negative, the ratio of 2 negatives will give you what? positive, therefore it must be here. So if you observe, this is a straight line, and a straight line is 180. Just add 180 onto 60, it will take you to this, which is going to give you 240. Yes, as simple as that. Let's go to question number 40, which is the last question on this particular question paper. And here is question number 40. A medical group consists of 7 general practitioners and 5 surgeons. In how many ways can an outreach team of 5 medical personnel be selected if the team must have at least 3 general practitioners? At least, this word is very important. At least it means there can be 3 or any other number greater than 3. So general practitioners, I have to start with for you. Assuming you select 3 general, let me call them G, practitioners, you have to combine that with 2 surgeons. 2 surgeons, because we want to establish, what is it? 5 medical personnel team, a team of 5 people. So if you select 3 here, you have to select 2 here. But they said at least 3. So they can be up to 4, where this will be 1, right? Then this can also be 5. And the highest you can have is 5. Well, we have nobody here. So these are the combinations. So how can we select this and this? How many people do we have here in general? 7 general practitioners. So let me show you how the formula will work. If you want to select this category, the first one, it will be 7 combination 3, right? Plus, multiplied by. They are 5 in number. 5 combination 2. Plus, you come down here. They are 7, right? 7 combination 4 multiplied by 5 combination 1. Lastly, 7 combination 5 multiplied by 5 combination 0. So this is what we need to simplify to get our final answer. We all know how to simplify combinations. If you don't know, I think, should I do that? It is going to waste a lot of time. But if your calculator can work it out, just press 7 combination 3. Whatever you obtain, you multiply by 5 combination 2. I've already worked it out here. So 7 combination 3 times 5 combination 2 is 350. Plus 7 combination 4 multiplied by 5 combination 1 is 175. 7 combination 5 times 5 combination 0 is 21. If you add all of this together, you're going to get 546. 546 ways, which is option D. If you don't know how to break down combination, maybe let me just take one and illustrate. For example, if you want to break down 7 combination 3, it is going to be 7 factorial divided by this 3 factorial multiply by 7 minus 3 factorial. 7 minus 3 is 4 factorial. So if you want to break it down, you look at the bigger factorial here, which is 4. Then you can write this one in terms of 4 factorial, which is 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 factorial. You stop. Then you write this one, 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6, right? But I'm going to leave 4 factorial because it is going to cancel with this one. 6 will cancel with this one. So you only have 7 times 5, which is what? 35. Do the same thing for this. Whatever you obtain, you multiply together. That will give you 350. That's how to do that. All right. These are all the questions we have in Further Mathematics objective questions in 2025. Till we meet in AC part.